Welcome to episode 33 of the Collecting Shiz podcast, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming through. Got Steve from Gem Blenders, the CEO, creator of Gem Blenders, a new TCG out in the market. I can't wait to talk to you, kind of get the little background of everything, the creation, the marketing, everything that's going on, talk about the gameplay, and show some cards towards the end of the interview. Steve, if you could, please introduce yourself to everybody who doesn't know who you are, man.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me, Josh. Really appreciate you taking the time to interview me and get the word about Gem Blenders out there. I'm Steve. I'm the creator. I've been working on Gem Blenders for over 4 years at this point, so it's been a really quite solid chunk of time working on it. And it started as a passion project, and from there, kind of just kept the ball rolling. We did an initial Kickstarter in 2019 to print our beta version sets in 2020, and then we kind of used those sets to keep growing our community up until now. And we're getting ready for our Kickstarter, which is planned for March 2023, which we're going to print our first edition as a full trading card game. And by trading card game, we mean our first time that we have booster packs, our first time that we have booster boxes, holographic cards, rarity, so on and so forth. And we're super excited. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah. You guys are based out of New York or?
Yeah. We're in Brooklyn, the three of us that are currently a part of the team.
I think I had ran by your table at Denver CollectCon. Were you guys there at that one?
We were there, yeah.
I was there, and it's a blur. You might I made a vlog, so I have to look back now and see if I just.
Oh yeah, maybe we're in it. Maybe me and Ben waved.
Exactly. I got to check it out. I need to go look back. So it's that place was awesome. I swear to God, like after you had sent me those 4 cards, I looked at them like, man, these look really familiar. So I got to go check my vlog out, see if I came across it, or hopefully I didn't trash it at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're on the Collecticon circuit, so we'll be in Orlando.
Oh yeah, I'll see you down there then. I'll be down there vending as well, so that'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, that'll be cool. Definitely have to hook up. But I really want to know like your backstory. Obviously you're not Gem Blenders is not your first time into collecting cards or making or thinking about it. Something brought you into this to make you want to do it. What was kind of like your come up in collectibles, and what made you want to do all this?
Of course, yeah. So
big question.
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, 2000s playing Pokemon first and Yu-Gi-Oh. Started just collecting the cards. That was like an easy entry point, as many kids did in that time period. And really kind of they stuck with me. I never like forgot about my Pokemon cards, right? So once I got to the age where I was like old enough to understand the game, I got really into the game, fell in love with the genre of trading card games. I already loved it from a collecting standpoint, but also from a gameplay perspective. Also growing up, I designed a lot of my own homemade trading card games, just like drawing my characters, coming up with effects. So that was always like a part of my life, a constant. So they're actually detailed on the Gem Blenders YouTube channel, but did a variety from like age like 7 onward. So there's like some really cool stuff there that led to the creation of Gem Blenders.
I was gonna say, like, what is probably the oldest character that you kind of transpired into a card?
So all the Gem Blenders characters themselves are separate from my previous ventures into the trading.
Oh, you would have. It's definitely like maybe like a V Friends transition on maybe a card. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, no, that would be really cool to do one that references one of those original designs.
Yep, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. That's awesome. So obviously, like the Pokemon, everything. Were you in like any like tournament circuits at all, or was it just more collecting and casual play?
Yeah, so it was all pretty much collecting and casual play. I was never. Yeah. So I took it I took it seriously within my own friend group, I guess. But I never like went out of my way to like build a meta deck, or I think I like definitely understood like the concept. I'm like, oh yeah, this card would make my deck better, but I never like practiced it
Yeah,
in like
yeah.
a competitive way. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great. So, what was like the switch where it was like, okay, this is going to happen. I want to journey down this and create a TCG. It had to be a crazy, crazy dream you had one day and just spark.
Mhm.
What was that switch?
Yeah. No, it's super interesting to think back on. I think, like as I mentioned, I did homemade trading card games growing up, so it
Yep.
was never anything new that I was like interested in game
Yeah.
design and specifically trading card game design. Uh, I was, I think, like I remember. I actually have a note on my phone. It was from 2014. It's like the first time that I started to piece together the world of gem blenders. It's like notes about the different gems and how they could mix and create a bunch of different transformations.
Yeah.
Um, but I never actually put it into practice until I was in school at the time. So until I graduated from school, then I was like, okay, I like, this is my dream to make this card game, so I'm gonna put it into action.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so 20, I think that was 2018 by the time I got the actual like mechanics started to work out and tried to figure out the art style and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
it's a very steady progression.
yeah, that's cool. It's cool. So, and you did, I think I read somewhere that you did all the art on all the cards, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we
We're
so
gonna show
basically
some
inspired.
gonna show some
Yeah,
better
look at
pictures
the
towards the end.
for sure.
But
So yeah, I did all the art. It's like lo-fi inspired is what we say, or from the
yeah,
early internet, RPG video games, and we're just kind of like really leaning into that, using lo-fi textures and trying to stand out within the genre has been a key objective
yeah,
in our art style, especially.
yeah. And that's clear to me. Like when I pick this up,
Mhm.
it does not feel like a Magic the Gathering border or a
Mhm.
Pokemon type border or Yu-Gi-Oh at all. It is
Yeah.
like definitely nothing like a Weiss Schwartz or Bandai card. Like it's definitely stands out apart from all those other ones, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
awesome to hear.
Yeah. No, and
Thank
look,
you.
and I can't wait to talk about the gameplay because I like obviously I
Mhm.
watched your gameplay video on YouTube a couple times. It's like 10 minutes long, so everybody go check it
Mhm.
out. It's pretty sweet. Was that your voice narrating it by chance?
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
videos are all me narrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of
Um,
one that's not me narrating it.
so I'm curious when we get into that a little bit more towards the end, and maybe you could show a
Mhm.
picture of like the general layout of the heroes and stuff. But I was curious where
Yeah.
you came up with that because it is
Mhm.
nothing like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or maybe Vanguard would be similar because you got the
Mhm.
four-person layout. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of getting to that a little bit more into the actual game. So that'll be pretty sick. Do you have
Sweet.
collectibles now outside of Gem Blenders, or is it kind of just
Uh,
by the wayside? You're not collecting stuff.
yeah, so I personally haven't, like, I had a bunch of collections growing
Yeah.
up, and like card collections, of course, and some
Yep.
other collections, notable ones like a Pez collection I had. So like
Nice.
definitely was like in the collecting space in general. But since I've definitely slowed down personally on the collecting,
Yeah.
like yeah, as I've like transitioned into, I guess, the creative side of things. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
I yeah, I guess I this is the first time myself interviewing somebody who has created a game basically from the ground up. So
Oh yeah.
I can't relate it to another person who has created a game to see if they also collect because
Hmm.
I feel like Mike Waddell from MetaZoo probably has some stuff, but I don't even know. Like I said, I don't
Hmm.
think I've seen an interview where somebody inquired about that type of thing. So I'd be interested to see if other people kind of just
Yeah.
got out of it and wanted to do their own thing, and that's really
Hmm.
cool. That's really cool. You got obviously you
Yeah.
got a binder of all your like beta cards, like
Oh
everything.
yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely, yeah. We have all the there's like their prototypes, there's the beta version, then we have like all of our holofoils now, which obviously look the best. But
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yep. So
yeah.
these just gotta ask now. You sent me four
Mhm.
different cards. Is it just basically hollow foil testing, like four different hollow foils? So you're
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
sure
so
which route you're going?
exactly. So we introduced so we've been putting them through the funding from our patrons on
Yep.
Patreon. So we started in June of 2022. So it's
Okay.
been, I think, like, what is that, like 6 or 7 months right so far, of printing these holofoil test prints. And they're just really to get a sense of what looks best with our card designs. When we started printing the designs, those were the first ever full art cards that we printed as well, which is going to be our new standard template at this point. So all the cards are going to be full art. Not all of them are going to be holofoil, but some of them will be holofoil. And then so it's been like really fun seeing the transition from the original cards over the last year.
Yep. That's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah, these holofoils, I love like secret rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I'm getting some pretty good vibes off this the Garden Sprout you sent me.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. This is my pick for sure. The cross hatch secret rare type.
Yeah, people like the cross hatch a lot. Definitely one of the most popular of those like 4 or 5 holo patterns that we tried.
Yep. Hell yeah, that's sweet. So kind of like talking a little bit more about the creation. Obviously, you talked about when you did it and stuff like that. Like, how do you create a trading card game? Do you have to like source different people in like out of the US, or is it like where are these cards made? Like kind of like get into the nitty-gritty of where all that conception.
There's an incredible amount of moving parts when designing a trading card game. From all of it's been done. So there's the game design part, right? Which is all done by our team and our community, our online community.
Yeah.
And that's a whole process in itself, because trading card games are extremely hard to balance, because you don't want people to like take advantage of certain cards and all that. And we've put a lot of focus on making sure it is a balanced and like competitive ready card game. That'll have a fun competitive scene.
Yeah.
So that's the one part, and then there's also coordinating like the actual physical product, which has been a whole other thing. We did an initial Kickstarter, as I mentioned, in 2019 to print our beta version set. That's what we've been selling them. That's what these boxes are. So they're printed as a living card game, and we printed 1,000 of these boxes, and we're actually down to our last like 40 of them. So it's crazy that it's like finally like all out in the world, which is really awesome, especially as we're leading into this Kickstarter. But the living card game format has been great to teach the game to people and get them excited about like what the game could be with updated art and updated everything, really. Yeah.
So the inside of that box, it's like 250 cards, right?
Yeah. So the starter set, you get 2 starter decks plus like 150 extra cards. So it's like 250 cards plus.
Yep. So it's every box is the same, right? It's like you said, it's more of just like trading and stuff like that. But this upcoming, the Kickstarter in 2023 in March is more introduction to, like you said, the booster packs and stuff like that. More of the like randomization. You're not going to get guaranteed everything every time. So that'll be really cool. Very cool stuff. Yeah, so obviously sourcing everything's got to be a crazy battle, like you said. I could only imagine getting all of that figured out is got to be a freaking monstrosity, and getting everything to come together and actually getting that final like sheet, like wow, we did it. Like, that had to be when. So when was the first time you got to hold your cards in your hand?
Yeah. So there's been like certain increments. Like we did prototype cards through what's that?
Like Fiverr or something, maybe? No,
just the Game Crafter. So they do like the print to order. So we did the prototype card. Those are just prototype cards. They're not like very nice quality, not a very nice print quality. But we used those to like get ready for our first Kickstarter. And then our living card game, the beta version cards they're very nice quality cards themselves. And we did that through a company called Ad Magic, who prints Cards Against Humanity as well. And then, but I think we're going to be transitioning to a different printer, just for the sake of holofoils and the actual like format of a trading card game, of how they're booster packs and all that.
Me being completely clueless, all I can think of is like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, the big dogs, and then there's others as well, right? Obviously, yourself included. Is there how many different printing companies exist? Is it like 3 in the US? Is it like 30? Like a general number? Any idea?
Yeah, there are a lot. I'd say, and they all vary in quality, and it depends on like what quality you're going after. Like there's Cardamundi, who I believe does Magic, and like they have a very high minimum.
Yeah, makes
so
sense.
like you have to, and they also have like a pretty long wait list as well. So there's different routes to take in terms of who you're going to print with, but it's important to like get samples, especially to make sure you know what quality cards you're going to be printing on and how high quality the printer actually is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're in the process of gathering quotes to price out the tiers of the Kickstarter campaign.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. Is there, like, it seems everything I'm seeing is a lot of gameplay driven, which is really awesome. I really like that aspect. Is there collectible people like actually just going and collecting these cards, wanting to grade them? Like, I'm curious in general.
Yeah. So like, as I've alluded to already, like the gameplay, and as you've just mentioned, gameplay has been the focus of the game. Of the last 4.5 years, I'd say 3 years solely focused on gameplay, essentially. This last year, we've started to introduce collectability, starting with our Patreon cards and the holographic cards. They're like printed in limited quantities and are not going to be printed again. And that's kind of been our step into it. We started to attend the Collecticons as well, go on tour around the US. And yeah, so collectors are interested in the game after this last year, which has been huge for us because that's the other half of the trading card game world, if not the bigger half of the trading card game world in some cases. So yeah,
that's cool.
Been a journey.
So at Collecticon, what was like, because I do not remember, what was like the main purpose of the booth? What were you doing at the booth? What was going on there? And what can we expect maybe in Orlando?
Yeah, of course. So we've gone to 3 Collecticons so far. We started in Dallas, Fort Worth, went to Long Beach as well in California, and then Denver back in October. And we always have a gameplay station. We're always going to have that. I think it's very important that there is a gameplay element. That's like why people get card games. It's like, it's not why people get card games actually, because a lot of people get card games just to collect. But I think you need to have both going on at the same time in order to have something that's sustainable. And it needs to be a quality game that's also unique, I think, is very important within the genre. Like if you have a Magic clone, that's not like, you're not going to take down Magic with a Magic clone. That's just like the bottom line there. And we've put in a lot of work to be a unique game, and we want to show that off. So gameplay station always there. And besides that, we just show off all of our products, all of our holofoil cards. We have some of like the more recent months available for sale. This is probably going to be our last event where we're selling the beta version sets, which we're super excited about that, to kind of move on to our next stage because we've had them for a little while now. And that's what will be there. There'll be three members of our team will be there, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I know for sure I had to have seen you because I was at Long Beach and I believe Dallas as well. So there was at some point we definitely had cross paths. So that's pretty sweet. I definitely look forward to swinging by the table in Orlando. That'll be cool. You guys, how big of a booth setup do you guys have generally?
It is varied in the past. We have 2 tables this time. So we'll be like on a corner booth.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. We'll make sure we'll get our booth number and all that out on our Instagram and so forth. Yeah.
Definitely. Looking forward to get the East Side boys going this time instead of I don't think Vanilla Ice is going.
Oh, wait, really?
I'm pretty sure
maybe it'll be a little quieter.
Yeah, it will be. I doubt it. But
yeah.
It gets pretty rowdy when he starts singing, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I can't talk to anybody for a good 20 minutes. But it's nice. Yeah, I love the atmosphere at Collecticon.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I just did I don't even know. Yeah, I have a separate channel, a podcast I do with my friend. That's where I was talking about it. I was like, maybe Collecticon's going to die in 2.5 years. We'll see. I was just like speculating, like ruffling feathers of people. I was like, wanted to get a rise out of people, but there's so many other also game cons and stuff. So what made you, or do you go to other ones? Like what made you pick Collecticon over the others?
Yeah. So since our first one back in May, that was our first Collecticon. We've gone to a convention every month. So in addition to Collecticons, we've done. There's one. So we're based in New York City. So there's Play NYC, which is like an indie game. They have indie video games as well. That was one that I think we did that in November, if I'm thinking back right. That was a great one because we're able to recruit local players for our local events, which is they've been super fun. We had like our biggest event recently. The last weekend we did a drafting event, and we had like 2 full tables. It was like just as many Magic drafters. Like there was like a side of Magic players and a side of Gem Blenders players. It was like really cool to see that come to fruition.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, and then we do PAX Unplugged. Have you heard of PAX Unplugged?
I swear I've heard of it for sure.
It's definitely it's more player focused than collectible focused. And it's in Philly. It's one of like the biggest board game conventions on the East Coast.
Awesome.
So we did that in December as well. Yeah.
Very cool. So do you have any, like the National, is that on your radar at all? Is that,
what is it called?
The National sports card? It's like a sport. Yeah. It's like the sports card.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. There's a handful of people I know that are in the Pokemon that went to it, and they said there's not a whole lot of Pokemon there. So, but it is like the largest sports or trading card event in the year, every year. So it's usually in like the summer, but yeah, it's a zoo. It's a zoo. You can get lost in there. Kind of like Long Beach the first day. Long Beach, I don't know, you remember, it was people, it was like sardines in there. It was insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how crowded they can get.
Yeah. So what was the why Gem Blenders? What was the reason for the name of it?
Yeah, of course. So like to go like into the should I talk a little bit about like the concept? I can do that now. That'll inform it. So heroes are the key part of the game. And my whole idea was I wanted to have some type of item that the heroes combine in order to use transformations. And the idea being that you can combine these different items in multiple ways in order to create like nearly infinite transformations. So then I created these cards called gems. These are your resource cards. And these are the items that you combine to transform into transformations called blends, which are like recipes. Every blend has a set of gems at the top, and when you get the right amount of gems on your hero, like so, I'll do a little demo here. But say you have an arrow gem and a Lucio gem, the wing gem and the light gem, and you put that on your hero, you're able to transform into an angel like that. So
it's similar in the sense you could play like 1 mana per turn. You're actually playing one gem per turn, right?
1 gem per turn, exactly. Yeah. And then say you add another gem to this hero. Say you add an aqua gem. Say you add an aqua gem. Now you have 3 gems. You can de-blend the angel and transform into a river angel. Like that. And you can just keep that going as you build your guy. You become more powerful.
Yeah.
Like get the Hail Dominator out. Like that.
And I noticed like the blender there that has the 4 gems at the top. Is there like ever a chance where you have 2 of the same gems, or is it usually all different gems? Because they're
all different gems. It's always unique gems.
Always unique. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's definitely like that's actually like an interesting point. Like there could be a future where there are 2 of the same gem, but right now they're all unique gems.
Yeah, and so basically the one that has like the most gems on it would be like a boss, because it takes the requirement is so heavy to get them out there.
Exactly. So yeah, there's the highest level blends are level 5 blends, which use 5 gems. They're going to usually be like a win condition for the deck. Okay. There's 9 different gems total in gem blenders, and usually you'll build a deck that has 5 different gem types in it that match the 5 gems of your level 5 blend. That's like this kind of the standard way to build a deck. It's not always what you stick to. You're allowed to have more than 5 gems.
Yeah, no, it's and I'd like to now a little bit talk about like the setup, the orientation. What made you come up with the orientation? So I don't know, do you have a screenshot maybe of like a tabletop down view, or you might not have?
Maybe.
But
Let me go to the.
yeah, you
I can go
go
bring up.
for it.
I'll bring up the rule book and kind of just scroll through it a little bit if that's okay.
Yeah, that'll work. Basically, just to paint a picture, and I'll change this formatting real quick. But paint a picture for people. It's you have the 4 hero characters you place on the board at the beginning of the turn. Similar to Pokemon, you place them face down before the start of the turn, and 25 life points each. Right is the start, I believe.
So it's actually changed since then.
Okay.
That was the beta. That's the beta version rule. So those are still intact for the beta version cards, but it's actually going down to 20 because we wanted a little bit of a punchier gameplay for it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
There you go.
You got it. Okay.
1 second. Sorry.
No, you're good. Take your time. I can also edit things out if I need to, but putting you on the spot for sharing. It's all good.
It's all good.
I figured we're talking about it enough. I might as well just show it better than just showing the camera. So we'll get the good quality here for everybody to check it out. What everybody came for.
There we go. Okay, I'm just about there.
All right, about there. Yep, no problem. I'm looking forward to talking a little bit more about the marketing. So obviously the Kickstarter and stuff has been obviously huge, and the Patreon and stuff. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Some of the futures of Gem Blenders, some of the tournaments, maybe stuff you're starting to plan, just to give people an insight what's to come.
Yeah, of course.
Add the stream here.
There we go.
Yep.
So as you can see, this is the how to play video for the Gem Blenders TCG beta version. So that's what you get in these boxes. That's what these cards look like when they're out. It's our old template design at this point, but we're going to be transitioning into some new stuff.
Okay.
But when you start the game, you're going to have you're going to put your heroes face down. So those are the 4 hero cards, the ones that are the black and white cards that you put the gems on, and then you draw 7 cards to start.
So if you could pause real quick, because I'm going to be asking questions now.
Yeah, of course.
So what was your like obviously the initial setup is completely different from anything I'm familiar with. So what was like kind of the drive for your setup and how you want this to run?
Yeah. So I think when formulating the game design for Gem Blenders, I was careful to kind of pinpoint a lot of things that bothered me in other card games and subvert them. So the big one being is card destruction. So like, in Pokemon, like the goal of the game is to destroy 6 of your opponent's Pokemon.
Yeah.
And Magic, you always have like a bunch of cards getting destroyed every turn. Not necessarily, but it's pretty common that that's happening. And I subverted that with Gem Blenders by creating a game where you never have anything destroyed. So these 4 hero slots, they're like permanents on the field that are there the entire game. You can switch them out with another hero in between rounds, but you're like those four spots are just your 4 spots.
Yep, they each have their own different abilities. I know one will like give you an extra card at the beginning of your turn. Some of them are attackers, some are not attackers. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if you could just show like so the intro, you start with 7 cards. I know the starting, unless it's changed, the starting player doesn't draw.
Yeah, starting player doesn't draw.
So how do you win?
How do you win? So each player has a life total, an HP total, and in our new version, it is 20, and it's actually over 3 rounds that the game is played. And I say that so in between rounds you don't clear the field. So a true game is like best 2 out of 3. Yeah. So it's really either 40 or 60 life games. Yeah. So that's a pretty unique feature of Gem Blenders in itself that we play over rounds. It's not like just best 2 out of 3 games. It's like the game is 2 to 3 rounds.
Interesting.
And so in between the
real quick, I was going to say, so you said you could change heroes still between rounds?
Yeah, so you start with 4 heroes, and you have a bench of 4 additional heroes, and in between rounds, you're allowed to switch one out from your bench. That's like our version of a sideboard.
Gotcha. Now, this game doesn't have like OTKs already, does it? Like it doesn't have like Exodia or or does it?
Yeah, so our game testing team's always looking for that type of stuff because there are some pretty fancy combos you can do.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't want to say they don't exist, but if they do exist, they're pretty hard to make happen.
gotcha.
Um, so I think it is balanced in that respect, and with some like disruption from your opponent, they're even harder to make happen.
That's cool. Very cool. If you want to
Yeah.
maybe pull up the screen of the cards, the 3 cards, just maybe
Oh
leave,
yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Kind of just to show a little bit more zoomed in besides us flashing the camera
yeah, of course.
with the
Let
cards.
me get the.
But yeah, totally non-sponsored stream. Everybody just wanted to, for real, just wanted to talk to Steve and definitely get to know this TCG. I did it for another TCG similar, but not nearly as in depth. The gentleman that I never reached out to him to talk to him in person. So luckily you were available to do this. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, no, really appreciate it. So these are like our really first final card designs that are going to be like for the Kickstarter. You can
Okay.
see we're transitioned to the full art. We also have blends in full color, and we have our updated gems. So that's kind of all the elements that we've been working on the last year or so, kind of coming to fruition there.
Yeah. So I didn't think you were gonna do colored blenders at all.
Yeah,
So that's interesting. No, that looks good
it's
though. Looks really good.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. We wanted to keep kind of it's still like a black and white focus for gem blenders, the aesthetic in general.
Yeah.
But we wanted to kind of create a pathway to add some more personality to the game.
Yeah.
And it took a little while to figure out how to do that in a way that we felt was still true to the style of gem blenders. But we think we're pretty happy with how these cards have come out and how they continue to come out.
Yep. Yeah, so obviously these all 3 of these are blenders because they have the gems at the top. The one's got a 4 requirement, another 4 requirement, and 3 on the right. How does the like attacking, defending stages? Is there one attacking stage? Like how do you start swinging on your opponent's life points?
Yeah, of course. So there is okay. So let me start off with like the general turn structure. It's a pretty fluid turn structure. You have your draw at the beginning,
Yep.
and then you can kind of do things in any order that you want. You have 1 attack per turn, and when you attack, I'm just going to bring up the other window real quick.
Yeah.
Just to show the field positions. But when you attack, you can attack straight across to your opponents. So let me just grab that right here. So you see you have the 4 positions, left, center, right, and back.
Yep.
And then when you do an attack, you attack straight across to your opponent. So you see how those attacks and defense line up. You got 2 attack to 1 attack, 3 to 2, and 1 to 0.
Yep.
And then you do a little damage calculation, and then the opponent takes that much damage.
So they take 3 off of their 20, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, the team has a communal life total, and it's all about positioning your heroes because they all attack in lanes straight across to your opponent's heroes.
So the hero in the far back, like the far right and the far left in this case, are those ones not attacking?
Yeah, exactly. They're the support position.
Yep.
So a lot of times you'll have your lower level hero there, which are not able to blend, or they don't blend into something higher. They're like less powerful, but they have better effects. So they're a great candidate for a back position. Also, you'll find that there's cards that allow you to switch your opponent's heroes on the field. So you'll send their strong guy to back position so it can attack you.
Yeah.
Those are how like kind of back position is played around with. There's also a lot of heroes, a lot of heroes and a lot of blends that are position specific. So there's some like very powerful effects that you can only activate while that hero's in back position.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So like the card I mentioned earlier, like the draw 1 card at the beginning of your turn, would that probably fall in that position?
Not necessarily. So that you're talking about Carter right there. He has 1 defense. So he's a level 4 hero. So he's like a good candidate to blend in the future because he's a level 4 hero. So it's like you usually want to get lots of gems on your higher level heroes because that's a limit to how you can blend. I didn't go over that specifically, but so this is a level 5 hero here. You see that?
Yep.
That means Eleanor can use level 5 blends, which are the blends that
The
that
vault,
use five
the
gems.
big. That's the most, right? 5
Exactly.
for now. Yeah.
Yeah, for now.
Start wrapping around the card and shit.
Yeah, there's no more room. But yeah, so that's the way the heroes are kind of built. And the lower level heroes, they cannot blend, but they have better effects. So there's a use for all types of heroes on your team.
So, what is your favorite boss monster right now?
My favorite boss monster?
Yeah, the one that you've got the most wins with when you drop him on board. Who's cleaning up the most?
Dude, I don't know. I'm not even like that good. Like I'm like fine at the game,
This
but
guy seems like a beast. Is that 5 attack?
yeah. So Tremor Bounder has great stats. I wouldn't say it's like in the meta though, in terms of like our game testing team. It's strong. It's definitely like a solid person, like a solid blend to have on your team.
What is the most attack on one of the blenders?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So in set 1, I think 5 might be the highest in the beta version set 5.
Yeah.
We've been game testing. So with this trading card game edition, we're adding 50 new blends. Excuse me.
Okay.
So like about 75 new cards total to the whole thing. And with that, there's one that has 7 that has like a negative effect that stops it from attacking every turn.
Okay.
Actually, no, we changed it to 6. We did change it to 6. So 6 is the highest that's going to be printed in the next set.
Gotcha. No, that's.
Oh no! Fleet Reacher. I made him. I can't even remember all of my cards. Fleet Reacher has 7. There is one that has 7.
It's a lot of cards.
Sorry, it's not even named Fleet Reacher. It's called Fume Blitzer.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards. So it's So how many total cards do you think it is now with the beta and now where are you sitting?
Yeah. So with all the beta version cards are going to be reprinted in this new set.
Yeah.
So I think with them it's like 200. So it's like about 270 cards. It's a pretty sizable base set that this is going to be.
Yeah, I think Magic Alpha Beta was probably 300 something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's higher than that, but kind of around there.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas the Pokemon ones are definitely lower. Yeah, but it's like definitely it's in the range of like where card games have started.
Yeah. So talk a little bit, I guess the obviously the marketing stuff I guess we kind of already did a little bit. The cons, the Patreon, the Kickstarter. Is there anything kind of outside of that you guys are doing, or is that basically wrap it up?
Yeah. So this like the cons have been huge for us. That's kind of once we started to attend the cons and really get our product out there, it was hard for us initially because we had all of this product and COVID was like at its peak at the time, like when the shipment arrived. So we didn't really have any way to actually interact with people and like demo our game. And so that was a problem for about 9 months until we were able to sign up for cons and start to go. That's when we really experienced like, oh, people enjoy this game. People are excited about it. So cons were big, but during the pandemic, we did really focus on our online community. So we have like a very strong Discord community, people who play every week. We have weekly game tests. So just like getting people to join our Discord server and follow us on other social media has been a huge thing for us as well. And it's definitely one of our priorities in terms of how we get our game out there and meet new people. It's like if you do Instagram right, it's basically like a con in itself.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody, all the social medias are linked down below, the Discord, YouTube channel, Instagram. So everybody go check it out. I am not in the Discord yet. I actually did not see that.
Oh, you should join. We have a Discord exclusive card as well. It's called our ice cream. Nice. You can complete a challenge to get it.
Oh boy. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm only in a few Discord, like literally like 3 Discord. So I'm able to join another one right now. I'm not locked down by being in 50 or anything. So definitely have to check it out. It'd be pretty cool. So the future, I'll talk a little bit about the future of Gem Blenders and kind of where you see it going, new sets, like what are you thinking future wise for you guys?
Yeah, so I'd say right now our focus is on the Kickstarter, nearly 100%.
Yeah.
If like this is like we've been working on it for 4 years, and we want to make sure we do everything to make this be like the start of our company. Really, like it is a company right now, but of something that we can start to commit more time to and start to really make it our number one priority.
Yeah.
And like pending a successful Kickstarter, we're going to hopefully be able to keep growing from there. We want to have more sets. We have ideas already pinned down of where we want to take those sets. And yeah, we want to grow communities around the country and around the world is kind of the goal. We've already started to see our like New York community start to blossom, which has been nice. A big part of our Kickstarter actually is local game stores, where we have like a whole grassroots effort reaching out to local game stores, trying to just get them to check out our Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We're going to have tiers that are specific for local game stores as well. That'll include like drafting contents, just so it's like a ways to introduce people to the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this Kickstarter is starting in 2023 in March, right? It's not ending in 23 in March, correct? So it's not even live.
Yeah.
Like I think you can click like a subscribe button to get notified.
Exactly. Yeah. We have a follow link. Yeah, that would be very appreciated if you click that for us.
Yeah.
But right now the tentative start date is March 22nd. It'll be within a 3-day span on either side of that date. But we're going to PAX East in Boston the end of the month. So we wanted to kind of line it up with that, line our launch up with that, so we can talk to people and direct them to our Kickstarter page.
Yeah. So me being somebody who has helped on probably just 2 Kickstarters my entire life, how does Kickstarter work exactly? So is it?
Yeah.
It's 100% of the money goes to you, and obviously the people get the different tiers. I know that they can subscribe to. How can you explain it a little bit how Kickstarter works for the ground up?
Of
people?
course. Yeah, it's basically a pre-order. You give us money now, and we promise to get you a product at a specified date in the future. Kickstarter does take a cut of the fund, but it's not a huge cut, and that'll all be accounted for in the pricing of the tiers. And then the way is you sign up for a tier, and tiers vary from something small up to something very big. Right now, we don't have anything finalized yet in terms of what our tiers are going to be, but going to be pretty typical compared to a lot of other indie trading card games. Like starter decks are going to be an item that you can get, and then booster boxes are the other item that you can get, and then there'll be deals as you get more of anything, of course. We're also going to have Kickstarter exclusive cards, which is really a big appeal of joining the Kickstarter, is you get access to these Kickstarter exclusive cards, which will not be printed outside the Kickstarter. That's kind of our plan for that.
So this is thinking maybe further ahead than you might have already, but like print runs, obviously MetaZoo is like big on announcing every single print run. I think Magic did it for a little while, so we have like a capture of what they printed. What is like the thought process behind that? Have you put thought into it, or if you want to even do that?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to announce what our print run will be. So specifically for this Kickstarter, it's our print run's going. This is the first edition print run of Gem Blenders, and it's going to be the first edition is going to be exclusive to the Kickstarter. So in order to get first edition Gem Blenders cards, you have to have been a backer of the Kickstarter. So that being said, the number of backers will inform how much our print run is. So right now we're getting quotes that account for a variety of different scenarios.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, no, Kickstarter is, I don't even know when it started, honestly, the website, but it is, there has been some insane things that come from there.
I know.
And it's a blessing. Like tabletop games, cards, stuff like that is just awesome. Like it's like Shark Tank for the community. And it's literally, it's awesome. It's awesome. Definitely glad you guys are doing it through there. It's going to be sweet. I'm looking forward to seeing that thing pop off.
Super excited.
Yeah,
we're doing a lot of work right now to get our page looking really slick. So hopefully it'll be exciting to like read through it and see our journey and everything in visual form as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome stuff, man. I thoroughly am looking forward to seeing. I definitely want to. Hopefully, I can get away from my booth and sit down and play a game and whoop your
Definitely,
ass
yeah.
in your own game. That'll be awesome.
I'd love that.
With the guy you said that's not in the meta, I'm definitely putting them in my deck.
You could bring them in the deck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say I'd welcome that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be stacking my deck. Don't worry about that. I'm definitely a cheater. No. Another thing I just remembered, like it's a 50 card deck.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I know Yu-Gi-Oh's 40, Pokemon 60, Magic 60. You just want it had to be different. Like what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. 50 just turned into a nice number for us. Yeah, it's not a minimum either. It's always has to be exact. So 54 is the actual number. The deck is 50 plus the 4 heroes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like ended up being what we balanced it to. It's like I think it's a nicer number than both 40 and 60. So
yeah. I think 60 is insane. I think like you get the deck and you set it down. If you double sleeve it, it's like that freaking fat.
It can get kind of fat. Yeah.
It's might as well sit down with a stack of PSA slabs and just crank it out. I've been wanting to do that. I wanted to go to like a Pokemon tournament with like 60 PSA slabs to start shuffling them.
You have to have like a machine to shuffle.
It'd be pretty sick. It'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Is there 50 cards is not a small amount, it's not in a massive amount. So is there a bunch of cards searching your deck, adding stuff, drawing cards? Because Pokemon's got a bajillion draw cards. So is there similar type things inside of Gem Blenders that get you through your decks or searching?
Definitely, yeah. So action cards are the last card type that I haven't mentioned. This is the beta version action card. They're gonna have a new template design come the Kickstarter. But they just like this one, for example, search your deck for one basic gem. There's like cards that help you do stuff. And I think you'll find Gem Blenders. It does have a lot of like draw and search abilities in it, just because it would be difficult otherwise to accumulate the gems that you need. So kind of by design, it requires that. So I think a lot of people who come from playing Magic, they'll be like, oh wow, this lets me draw 2 cards. That's crazy. But it's in Gem Blenders, it's not that crazy. Like, it's still good, but it's not like as good as it is in Magic.
Yeah. So that card you showed, is there cost to it, or you can play one per turn, or?
Yeah. So the action cards go into your action meter. So you can play 5 action cards per round.
Oh wow.
So once. Yeah, and then as I mentioned, every game is 2 to 3 rounds. So you can play if it's a 3-round game, you can play 15 per game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
you clear it out in between the rounds, the action meter.
Gotcha. That's like the only thing on the board that clears out.
You
said the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Okay.
You have the option to switch a hero in, and your action meter clears out. That's what happens in between each round. And
you shuffle them into your deck?
No, they just go to your discard.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Is there like an out of play zone, banish zone, any of that yet, or no?
Not yet. Yeah, it's like open to it existing, but nothing yet.
It always happens. Like Pokemon, it didn't exist forever. Then they're like, well, everybody's got the lost zone. It's madness. And then they start making cards that bring them back out of the lost zone. It's like now it's a second graveyard now. Like, what are we doing? Very cool stuff, man. I loved drawing creatures when I was younger. I had drawn so many different, made up my own. They were basically in my head. They were different Pokemon and stuff, and it was always a passion of mine. And I'm jealous of what you've done. It's pretty sick. I would never, in a million years, probably do it. Awesome though. Is it this like full time for you, or are you doing? Is this like your side hustle essentially until it's
in my side hustle for a while. Right now, I'm kind of all in for the Kickstarter. So right now, working on it basically full time.
When are you going to be on Shark Tank?
Right after the Kickstarter, once they have a nice thing to bring to them to show that people love the game.
That is something I've never seen on Shark Tank. Is like a board game like a game at all. It's generally like an app would be the closest thing I've ever seen to like a game. I wonder if there's like limited, like banning that. I'm guessing they might be limited to not do that because I don't think I've ever seen it.
It feels like it's a very like it feels like it's a specific thing that they probably don't know enough about to like decide to invest in. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. People bring anything on.
They invest in some random shit. Let me
exactly. Yeah.
Some random stuff. So if you come in there and you're like, well, I got $1 million in sales my first 2 years, well, they might start talking a little bit like, all right, let's dance a little bit here, Steve. And I'll call up my guy I know that owns the Dallas Mavericks. Have him reach out to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish I knew that guy. That'd be funny. But yeah, man, this has been awesome. Everybody should go check out the Discord. I'm gonna hop in there for sure. You got a bunch of members in there, I'm sure. Definitely looking forward to getting the desktop simulator to be able to play the game. You can play it online. So explain real quick I want to understand that a little bit more. It's because I'm familiar with Dueling Book. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, I don't.
It seems like it is like Desktop Simulator. So Desktop Simulator, I'm guessing
Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop Simulator is more of like manual and it's not automated yet, or are the mechanics built into the game?
I think there are ways to. I'm not actually very well versed with Tabletop Simulator, but it's like basically our version of Gem Blender is like a sandbox. Like you just kind of you have all the pieces, you just move them around.
Discard, you got to manually place it. You can place it in the wrong spot. You got to know,
exactly.
Yep. So it's just like Dueling Book, which is like the Yu-Gi-Oh version. Like they made their own website and stuff. But I love the heck out of that, and it's free and it's cool. So that'll be cool to have something else. Definitely.
Yeah, we host weekly game test sessions on our Discord server. We actually use a software called Cockatrice, which has been super useful for game testing. That one's open source and free to download. And then we also have decks available on tabletop as well.
Nice. So I'm going to give you the floor here for a little bit. If you want anything that's going on with Gem Blenders, shout it out. Of course, all the links are below in the description for everybody to go check out. But the floor is yours, Steve. What's happening?
Yeah, of course. So major things we have coming up. We have our trip to Orlando in February. That's our convention in February. And then we have our trip to Boston for PAX East. So that's where you can stop by and see us if you want. We also have monthly events in New York if you're in the city. We're going to be at Wonderville, which is a barcade in Bushwick. I think I don't remember the weekend, but check our calendar, and we'll be somewhere else in March as well. But yeah, and then we have, of course, our Kickstarter tentative date of March 22nd, and that's what we're building towards here. We're gonna have a lot of exciting art releases leading up to it, and like get ready for a pretty exciting Kickstarter page. I think we're gonna turn some heads. I'm hoping for it.
Oh yeah. How long is the Kickstarter last? Do you have to set that before you launch it, or is it
Yeah, I think you're allowed to set it up to 2 months, I believe. I think we're probably going to do about a month. Okay. Maybe slightly over. I'm not sure. We'd like figure out what the end date we're aiming for is in terms of like if we're going to be attending an event in April.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I look forward to meeting you in person. I can't wait to go watch my vlog back to see if I did walk by you. But I appreciate you taking the time and coming on here and talking the game with me. It seems pretty awesome, dude. I'm looking forward to picking some more cards up because I only have 4 right now, and it'll be pretty cool. But also on the website, awesome. I think you can go buy that box you had shown, right? I think you said
we have our beta version sets available, and we have a bunch of holographic cards, our most recent sets of holographic cards from the last 3 months, I believe. Yeah.
Sweet, man. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Josh, for giving this platform. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on, but we will we'll talk to everybody soon. All right. Appreciate you guys.
Sweet. Sounds good.
All right. Peace.